Yared Nuguse, the man of the hour. Welcome to the Running Effect podcast. I would say, how you doing this morning? It's afternoon, almost evening in St. Moritz. How you doing this evening?
I'm doing really good, Dominic. How about you?
Doing good, man. Looking forward to this one. Got to ask you, where does St. Moritz line up in terms of best training location? Where does it line up compared to Boulder?
It's definitely behind Boulder for me. I think I'm an American boy at heart, and I think like San Moritz definitely has like better views and whatnot, but Boulder's just like warmer, more people and things to do and whatnot, things like that, you know. So I don't know. I like San Moritz, and when it's like nice weather, which it has been fortunately very nice these last few days. But on average, I definitely give the edge to Boulder.
I think at the track in Eugene, I was talking to Elise Cranny, and she was telling me, and I've heard this from other athletes as well, how expensive the food is in St. Moritz, like how a coffee is a ridiculous amount. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully I don't need coffee, but like literally everything that you want to do, it's like if you're not cooking it at home, it's going to be expensive. And even if you do cook it at home, the groceries are going to be expensive. Like if I want like any meat whatsoever, like you're going to pay like an arm and a leg for it. And it's just like, well, dang, serves me right for being up in the mountains, I guess, or just I think being in Switzerland is mostly the biggest part of it. But you get used to it. Luckily, I'm not here too long, so like I'm not going to be spending a ton of money like I did last year. But and I have things a little more figured out on like where to get a good deal while also getting plenty of food. My secret has been fried rice.
You said no coffee, so you're not a coffee drinker. How controversial is that on the team?
It's pretty controversial. Everything. Actually, now with our new addition, Kai also does not like coffee. So I am not alone in my endeavor anymore, which is very nice. But yeah, we always talk about how just like if you are drinking coffee, you drop like 2 seconds in like whatever race you did. So maybe if I'm like really feeling slow right before the Olympic final, I'll just like down a double espresso and then see what happens. But it's our team just loves coffee, and I like coffee as a concept, but no, the flavor, man, it's just never been for me.
So it's a taste thing. It's not a like
Yeah,
caffeine thing, or do you take any
no.
sort of caffeine? Are you a tea guy?
Okay, so I have very recently been slowly getting into tea now that I know what like good tea is. But I still won't like you can't get good tea a lot of places unless it's like an actual tea shop. So I haven't really been like drinking too much, but especially here in Europe. But like whenever I get the chance in America, I do I will enjoy a little bit of tea. But before races or anything specifically, no, there's no real caffeine regimen that I'm doing.
Tea, are you straight up tea? Is it honey? Is it sugar? How do you like your tea?
I well usually I get like some flavored teas. I'm really into green tea. Specifically, there was this one like strawberry cream green tea that tasted like so good, and like it doesn't even really need any sweeteners, just because like it's sweet enough on its own. And a lot of like the flavored green teas are like that. So yeah, just usually straight up normal tea. But yeah, at least for now, I don't know. I gotta expand more, taste more teas.
Fair, fair. Who's got the sweet tooth on the team?
Oh, probably me if I had to guess. I
Really?
mean, like, I literally just got these sour sticks or something. um, and I like came to Europe. Only food I brought from America was like some like protein bars and then a bunch of nerd gummy clusters, which I just finished today. Um, so unless some of the new freshmen are not freshmen, but newbies are like more into it than I am, I'd have to say it's me, but that's
Y-
just my opinion.
Yard back in the day, like fifth grade, goes trick or treating. What's the number one candy you're looking out for?
Trick or treating was always tough for me because I don't like chocolate also, and like a lot of the candy
All
that you
these
do
hot
get,
takes, Yard. Wow.
I know, right? All the candy that you do get like half the time is chocolate. So like your options were pretty slim if you were me, but I did love nerds just like in general. I feel like you got like a lot in this like tiny little box. Um, any kind of like sour gummy candy, like Sour Patch Kids or whatever, those were also major wins. And even Twizzlers sometimes, honestly. I'm a good big Twizzler guy.
If I'm not mistaken, your final year of eligibility in the NCAA, a big conversation was you becoming a dentist. How does that match up with Sweet Tooth Yared and Dentist Yared one day?
Well, the thing is, like, they say like you're not supposed to eat that much candy, but like you're not supposed to eat that much candy if you like don't brush your teeth and floss regularly. So it's like like if you just like rinse your mouth out like after you have like a ton of candy, you're probably going to be fine. And as long as you like brush and floss, which I do, then like I go to the dentist and they're just like, "Oh, yep, looking great as always." And I'm just like, "Yeah, I know." But you know what is bad? Coffee, soda, those things. Not great for your teeth.
Is coffee actually not good for your teeth?
I don't know, probably, right?
I don't like to hear it as a coffee drinker. Tough scene, tough scene. Speaking more on that, I remember, yeah, that I think you said something like, I'm gonna try out professional running for a year and see how it goes, and then go from there. Because I remember you were pretty passionate about exploring that pursuit and getting into that. For you, what's that reflection process like, looking back on your first year as a pro of like, wow, I got pretty darn good, and now I'm pretty focused on running.
No, yeah, yeah. I mean, my first year was just everything I could have wanted and even more. I feel like, I had a lot of success and I had a lot of different fun and like running so many different races and whatnot. And it was really, really interesting to just kind of like, I don't know, be able to kind of like just focus on running. So I really, really did enjoy my first year. And I was like, yeah, this is like something I can kind of see myself continuing to do. Um, because I always say it like I just want to enjoy my time with running and like have fun while I can, and I think that you know my team at OAC and just like the things that we've been doing are like very intuitive to that just like goal of mine of just enjoying the sport while I have it.
Looking back on your few years as a professional runner, what are some of your most memorable moments off the top of your head? It doesn't even have to be races either. It can be fun stories from the track practice.
Hmm. Um, some fun moments. I mean, I don't know. There's probably quite a few. I really liked World Indoors this year. I think like that was really fun for like like me to like go and get silver in the 3K, which was really great. And then coming back and seeing like George win the 1500 the next day, like I was just like so hyped and crazy, and it was just such like a good day for our team. Um, so I think like that's one of my favorite moments. Um, I really liked London Diamond League. That one was just so much more energetic than the other ones, and I also won, which helps. But like, it was just like London had like a really crazy atmosphere to it that I hadn't seen last year in many of the Diamond Leagues that I had been to. Um, so yeah, that and maybe one more. Hmm. Actually, I don't know. I'll leave it at
Those are
that.
some good ones. Those are some good ones. Something that I've seen from watching the Diamond Leagues and hearing people talk about them is the Diamond Leagues in Europe generally are like fully packed at full capacity. What's that atmosphere like racing in that stadium? Both like starting on the line, what are the nerves like, as well as in the race? Like, can you even hear yourself breathing, or is it so loud?
No, it actually can get like really loud, especially like come the last lap or something. Um, I think like like when something crazy is happening in the stadium when like I'm not even like racing yet, but like another race is finishing up and they're just like going absolutely nuts in there, whether it's like because there's like a British athlete or just because like they're going like so fast or something. So it's like you hit that last lap and it just like really crescendoed a lot. I think probably more for like Neil Gurley than for me, but like it was just really really crazy. I think and just really really fun to have. I don't know. There were like 100,000 people. Like the stadium's like
Wow.
massive, massive. So like it was really, really fun.
We talked about St. Moritz. We talked about you living in Boulder. You obviously went to college at Notre Dame, but you grew up in Kentucky. I think, for anyone growing up in that state, you wouldn't necessarily expect to travel the world and go all these places. What's that been like? Even like not even from a running perspective, but just from a personal perspective, being able to travel to so many places and see so many places. What's that been like?
It's been really great. I think a lot of my peers and generally youngish people are like we love to travel, and like I wasn't a huge traveler growing up, but like I kind of wanted to see like cool things, and now I kind of just get to like live my life and like work in like a place like Sam Moritz, which is like so beautiful, and see so many different things that like I mean I plan on traveling, sure, a little bit, but like a lot later in life, and just like probably not to as many places as I'm going now. And it's been really exciting just to kind of like take that opportunity for what it is. And like I probably could do a little more exploring than I do. I don't do like nothing, but I think a lot of the time I'm kind of just like, oh, I need to focus on this race, and like right after the race we leave. But even just like kind of being like submersing myself in those places and just like doing like normal things like going to the grocery store and like some place, it's just kind of different and really, really fun to kind of figure things out and like, you know, struggle with the language and just like, I don't know, figure it out. But because like Kentucky is nice, but it wasn't like, the most flashiest place in the on the planet, not even in the U.S. Um, but it was better than Indiana, so that's something.
Really?
But
That's
100%.
a hot take, maybe.
Um,
Some
no, it
people
is
like
not.
South Bend. Some people
What's in
like South Bend.
Indiana?
Yeah, that's fair.
South
That's
Bend is
fair.
like literally just boring. I was there for Notre Dame only. Uh, but no, yeah, moving out to Boulder, even like Boulder is just like such a beautiful town, and just like really, really amazing to kind of be a part of and just see the mountains, even if I don't really go like hiking or whatever. Just to be kind of near something like so beautiful and cool has been really, really fun, and got me thinking about like, what I want, where I want to live, like end game later, much, much later on.
When you go back to Kentucky, whenever that is, postseason, Christmas, visiting family, whatever it might be, are you that guy when you go back to your hometown? Like, can you go on your track without getting noticed?
No, I'm not that crazy important. I feel like it depends. Like if I like pull up to like my old high school's practice, like yeah, everyone on the track team at my high school knows me. But like if I'm at like some random other track near my house, like no one's really going to say anything. Especially since I'm usually not really allowed on the track because I just never asked. I feel like they would say yes if I asked, but I'm too afraid to ask, so I just kind of sneak on the track. But no, I think I'm still pretty normal to Louisville standards. Maybe if something crazy happens at the Olympics, then everyone will know me, and maybe I'll get my building on a wall. No, my face on the building, my face on one of the buildings. It's a big thing they do in Louisville. They do it for all the important people from Louisville. Um, so I'm trying to. That's the main goal, but
Before you
then
hang
I'll
up the
probably be a
spikes,
little too famous.
get your face on a building before hanging up the spikes. Is that the ultimate measure before hitting retirement?
Yeah, pretty much. Because like Jennifer Lawrence has one. Um, what's that singer guy from Louisville? Shoot,
I'm not versed in Louisville. If I look it up, would faces on buildings in Louisville?
I'm sure you'll see it. Yeah,
Let's see this
hopefully.
real time. Um, 6 new hometown hero banners are going up. Maybe. Oh, Muhammad Ali. Is that it?
He's one of them, I think. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't even know this was a thing. That's so interesting.
No, yeah. I mean, like it's not like it's Louisville, so it's not that crazy of a city for something to do that. But like, I think it's a very fun way to appreciate our our Louisville people, because there's not a lot of us, but they should be appreciated, and they should be appreciated on the side of buildings.
I gotta ask you. So we're between the trials and the Olympics. What's the like daily? I'm sure there's some variety each day, but generally, what's the daily routine look like in St. Moritz?
Hmm. Uh, Pretty standard, honestly, compared to like what we do back at home. We usually have like later practice, like around like 10 or something. Um, do my run or my workout, whichever one it is. Come back, have like a sort of like lunch. Um, and then it's that like few hours in the middle of the day where you're just like, what am I going to do today? Today I had a massage, so sometimes you do that. Sometimes it's like go to the pool and just like decompress. Um, Other times it's just like, I don't know, sit around and read my book. But usually it's something very easygoing and low key, and then maybe do a double in the afternoon, and then make dinner, and then start getting ready for bed. So
What's your favorite part of the day that's not the run? Something you look forward to most days.
the run is not my favorite part anyway. It'd be dinner. Dinner is my favorite part. Because I feel like for lunch the meal is like not like super huge and never really that filling, but like I usually make a big dinner and it's really, really nice. So definitely dinner.
For most evenings, is it like you guys are cooking individually? Is it like the whole team gets together and you're rotating cooks? Is it like you all go out? What does that general routine look like?
So we this year we've kind of been like separated into like various Airbnbs across San Moritz. So it's just me and Mario in this one, but like me and Mario will like either cook together or cook separately depending on like what we have around or just like what we want to do. And we'll sometimes have like team dinners. We only had like a couple, but like we'll go out sometimes too, or just like all get dinner together at some place if we're really feeling up for it. But I'd say most of the days it's kind of just like me preparing whatever pasta or rice or whatever thing I have around.
Last time I talked with Mario, he was taking me through his ambition of learning piano, I think. Is he getting after it in St. Moritz on the piano?
No, he's not. He wasn't even getting after it at home. But he keeps saying he will, so I will. I'm not gonna like force him, but I think he could be a little more devoted. I think he's just a little scatterbrained right now. But I'd love it if he learned the piano because the piano is such a cool instrument. But I don't think he's really made that much progress.
If you were to pick up an instrument yourself, what would it be?
Oh, probably would be the piano because I already played violin as a kid. Um, also as like an almost adult. But but like I really like the piano and just like what you can do with it. It's very versatile and very, very fun to play. Um, so yeah, probably that.
In St. Moritz, I gotta know, you sneak Tyro in your bag, or is he back home in hibernation? Who's watching him?
Tyro is just back home. He's still awake, of course, but he's with our my roommate Tyson. Tyson's taking good care of him, watching over him, and making sure Tyro can watch all my races. So yeah, no, he would not like coming to Europe, and I'm sure he would just hate it here. So um, he's not for beautiful mountain life. I think he's more for hot desert life. So.
Very fair, very fair. When you come back home, like, does he recognize you? Does he like specific people? Not like specific people? What's that like? I
I,
don't
I
I
don't
don't know
think he
much
has like
about.
a specific like people recognition. I've read things that said like your tortoise can recognize you, but it seems like he just kind of like likes anyone because he thinks people are just going to give him food. So maybe I'm sure he will be quite excited or look like he's excited to see me when I return. So yeah.
What's the schedule looking like between now and the Olympics?
Now it's just chill in San Moritz for another few days. go to Zurich a little bit and get some more like kind of heat training. I don't know how hot it is in Zurich, but like probably gonna be warmer than it is here, so that would be nice. And then head to Paris a few days before my first race and just kind of get used to being in Paris a little bit before hitting that first race.
So no more races between now and then.
No, no, I think we're definitely past the point of racing. I think I've raced a good amount this year, so I'm just
Do you
ready
like
to,
that? Where you're dialed in now and it's like, the next race will be on the starting line in Paris? Or is it kind of like that nervous energy where you're just kind of waiting and you wish you could take it out on a race?
I don't think I'm that nervous yet. I'll probably be a little nervous once I get to Paris, but like, like a healthy amount of nerves. I think that's the beauty of 3 rounds is like, you don't really have to be like that nervous until like the last round because that's the kind of like, where it all matters. I guess unless you're worried about making it to the final, but like, I feel quite confident enough to make it to the final, but, I know it's going to be hard too. So I think it's still just like, right now it's just kind of getting in that mindset of like this is it, this is the race we've been like training for, and this is going to be like a really awesome one, so might as well just give it everything I have, so the nerves will come, I'm sure.
3 years ago, I actually think that was the first time I had you on the podcast. Was right after the Olympics. You obviously made it to the Olympic Games and then ultimately didn't line up. Take me through that kind of feeling of making another Olympic Games and being able to line up on the starting line this time with USA across your chest.
No, yeah, I'm very excited to actually, have that chance. I feel like after what happened in Tokyo, like I was a little bummed, but I wasn't nearly as like, confident about like medaling or anything. So it was more just like a dang, this really sucks. But like I do kind of feel like a sense of like redemption of just like coming back and being able to really like actually represent my country at the Olympics. I still always considered myself an Olympian, but I still think that like getting to actually race in the Olympics will just be like a totally different feeling. Um, and I'm really excited for it because, I know I'm like, I'm glad this isn't like my first year as a pro. I think that would have been like, I've been like, whoa, it's crazy. But, I've had a year, I know what I'm doing a little bit, and I know what I need to do to kind of like get it done. So it's just really exciting. And I think, you know, me from 3 years ago would be proud. Although I will say the injury that did happen was like not even now. It was like still like a few more weeks closer to the actual Olympics. So, but my body has been looking very good, knock on wood. So I'm not too worried.
Obviously,
But
in
yeah.
2021, the Tokyo Olympics, the men's 15 was super, super stacked. But I feel like every single year since then, it's just become more and more, prestigious as an event. And you've been a big part of that. Can you speak to the progression of the event and what it's like? Where the final this year is probably going to be the most stacked men's 1500-meter race of all time, which is crazy.
No, yeah, it's been really, really great to just like see this progression and also just be a part of it. Um, I think like I I think this is exactly how I would have wanted it to be like in an age where like 1500-meter running is like so competitive and so hard right now because it makes me feel like, I really earn every time I'm just like get a win or just like every time that like I really perform really well against a lot of really good guys. It's just like, and these are like some of the best guys that have like ever been running. So it's been really exciting and really, really fun and just been an amazing opportunity to have, such amazing competitors that are just like gonna keep pushing me to be my best, and as we all just continue to push each other to like be more and just do more to like just see what our limits are really.
If I'm not mistaken, you ran Monaco where you placed fourth. You ran 329. If I was to go back 3 years ago, tell that yard, you're going to run 329 in the Diamond League, but it's only going to get you fourth. What would you have said?
I think you probably would have been still stuck on the 329 part. It's like 329. I can't even run like 335 barely. Like, but it's just such a crazy time, and I really love it because if I was just like if this is like one person easily winning everything. It's just like, where's the fun in that? I think having a little competition here and there, like, and having something that's so deep versus like just being one person, has made it really, really exciting to watch and really, really exciting to just, be a part of for real.
I feel like the past year you've been so consistent every time you line up on the starting line. What would you accredit that consistency to, and how important would you say to a listener right now consistency is in terms of success in the sport?
Mm. No, yeah, I think a lot of my consistency has just been in part due to my training. A lot of our training is very strength based and really, really helps with just like maintaining a strong performance throughout the entire year. And so I've been, really grateful to Dathan and our team to just like have a sort of training that really rewards consistency versus just like peaking at one specific race. But the I think a lot of consistency is so important for running, especially distance running, because so much of it is just mentality. And when you have a consistent streak of like doing really well, I think it's a lot easier to kind of continue to like do really well because you know that like you belong there because you've always been able to show up when it matters. And so I think that's what every distance runner talks about. We talk about consistency because it is really important, and you're not really going to be able to really get the most out of yourself if you can't have like a consistent base first, and then you can kind of like make that leap up um, to the next step, whatever that is for you.
Are there any other attributes, as we're talking here, that you think of as contributing to your success, or even just in evaluating or analyzing your teammates or other successful pros in the sport? You think attributes you've seen them emulate that you think have helped to make them successful?
Yeah, I think like besides consistency, there's definitely a level of like determination and grit to it. Um, 1500 is a really hard event, as most running events are, but you have to like really, really want it if you want to do well. And I feel like I've always been someone who really wants it, even if I'm just kind of like, because having fun is something that I feel like really I attribute to my success. It's just like making sure I enjoy every step of the way, no matter like win or lose. And I think like you can still like have fun while still like being like very determined to just go out there and give it everything I have and try to win to like my best ability. Um, so yeah, there's got to be like a certain mindset of just like a confidence and determination of just like being able to go to these like really hard places to give more than you ever thought possible to like come away with the win. Um, and yeah, so I think like that's been really important. And yeah, like I said, for me, just like having fun and enjoying every race that I do is so important for like me continually doing this, and me continuing my consistency because it's just like I enjoy, whatever happens to me in any race as long as I like gave it all everything I had and like had like a decent race, then it's like I probably had fun doing it as well. Um, so yeah, I'd say those two attributes.
Curious to get your take on this heavily debated subject within the sport at every single level: talent versus hard work. What's your take on that?
I do think talent is a big piece of it. I think I've seen a lot of people where it's just like the hard work is definitely there. Like they want it and like they will fight for it no matter what. But I think there is still a little bit of a talent piece to it. I think the hard work is more important, but I think, there has to be like some level of talent there. Um, and like it's kind of a bummer because like the talent is so subjective and like you don't really no one really knows how much talent they have until like they go out on the track and try it. And like sometimes like you need to do more to unlock your talent than like someone else might have to do. But at the end of the day, it's there is going to be a little part of it that's just like, innately what you can do, and then hard work takes you like the rest of the way there.
Looking back, as we were talking there, I was reminded of just like your high school years where you were obviously a really good guy specifically for that time period. And obviously your times and accomplishments helped you to run for Notre Dame. But, you compare it to high schoolers these days who are just running out of their mind. You ever reflect on that of like, man, I may have not gotten into Notre Dame in 2024 if I had my
Oh
times
no.
in present day.
No, yeah, 100% that's true. Like I could have a totally different outcome if runners in high school were as good as they were before. Albeit Notre Dame was pretty bad when I started, so like maybe I still would have been fine. But no, it is crazy how much things have grown though, and I just feel like so many people can get like lost through the cracks now if they're like they can only run like 406, which is like well, really
Ridiculous.
I was running like 412 when I got recruited. So like and even that was just let's be like absolutely nothing today. Um Which is unfortunate because it makes me think like maybe there's people out there who could have been like really good like me, but they didn't really have like the chance or like the opportunity or just the support to make that happen. Um, but I'm fortunate to have grown up in the time I did and been able to do what I've been able to do. So
I was just gonna say that point to kids who maybe have run really fast, but they're not quite at that level where they're making the top national meets like Brooks PR or whatever it might be. What would you say to those kids who are really good at the sport and have a lot of potential, but they're maybe like one or two steps below, just in terms of like keeping going and seeing where you can go in the sport?
no, yeah, I'd say a lot of it is just like, not giving up. I think you can see a lot of crazy things, especially in high school. I feel like everyone's very impressionable, and you might see someone run a certain time and be like, man, like I can't do that. I'm not capable enough or whatever. But like, I think there's like just so much people can do, so much more that you can do at that age that, like I feel like not everyone really needs to do, which is why I think was nice for me. Like high school was like not really like that intensive of training, but like it was enough for me to like get to college. And then college I gotta like ramp it up a little bit. So you gotta give yourself like some grace and some credit and like, know that like sometimes it's gonna take a little bit of time and maybe you just need like a more intensive sort of program to make that happen. But like you don't necessarily need to be in a rush. Like you don't need to be the best at like I don't know 13 to be the best when you're like an actual adult. Um, so yeah, I just say keep on keeping on.
I think something a lot of people struggle with when they see someone like you and how fast you've run, maybe they think they can get there one day, but they think they have to go on the perfectly paved road with no setbacks, which is so unrealistic. Could you speak to that aspect of how even for someone like yourself, there are setbacks, whether it's whole years or small injuries or even just a day where you're not feeling great and the workout doesn't go as planned, that, to get to your goals, not everything has to go perfect to get to that point. There will be setbacks.
No, yeah, 100%. Like there is so much that can happen on any given day of just like yeah, like you said, like even if it's just like a day where I'm just like I'm not really feeling it and like I don't work out like that well and it's just like man, like I should have really been better, but like those things happen and like you're gonna have days like that for one reason or another, or maybe no reason at all. And like it's important to just kind of like look at the bigger picture of it all. Like when I got injured before after the Olympics, I had basically like a whole year where I was just like not like I had ups and downs like that whole next year of just like performing really well, but then kind of getting injured again, and it was just like a whole struggle for me like that whole year to just kind of like stay like consistently healthy. Um, but I was able to like kind of figure it out like once I just like settle down a little bit, like actually let myself heal and just like kind of coming back to the season like as a pro and just like really getting after these races. Um, so yeah, like nothing is ever going to be really perfect, especially in our sport, because everything is just like it just hangs in like a balance, a very like very easy to disturb balance, and things are going to happen, but you just got to kind of like find that balance again. And then once you do, then you kind of just got to do what you can to kind of like maintain it a little bit. Um, so yeah, everyone's going to have like their own set of struggles. But at the end of the day, it's more just like bouncing back from them and like how you act during them. Um, that can really just help you improve.
Going into Paris, what's the mindset? What are the goals? And, what's your overall thinking going into your second Olympic Games? First one, running.
Yeah. No, yeah, the mindset has just been, remembering just like remembering just that I one belong there, and two, like I am like, you know, as good as I think I am. I think a lot of the time I doubt myself and whatnot, but like I made it to the Olympics and one of the biggest stages, and I know that like I can make it to the final, and I know that like if I put myself in the right position, that like I can win. It's going to be like the hardest thing I've ever done, but like it is something that I can achieve, and that's kind of why I'm aiming for it because I'd be happy with like a lot of different outcomes in that race, even if I just medal or if I don't or whatever. But like by like aiming to win, like I don't kind of like lose the miss out on the chance to win if that opportunity arises. So, I've been saying like, yeah, the goal is gold, and the goal is to just really keep on pushing that no matter how I'm feeling on that day, no matter what. It's just like I have to at least try for it because that way I actually give myself a real chance for it. Like if I just say like, "Oh, I want a medal," then it's like, yeah, but that's not really as like, as concrete. And I know I'm as good as the best guys on in that field, so it's just a matter of like really believing that and like manifesting it in a way. Um, so I've kind of just been hyping myself up a lot lately and just being like, yeah, like we're gonna do so good at Paris. It's gonna be great. And I think a lot of my friends and family have been doing the same. So yeah, just really go out and have fun. And there's a lot of ways to do that. But I am like going to be trying to go over the win, as I hope everyone is in that field.
I love it. That's so exciting. I got to ask you, from a more fun but potentially controversial perspective, what's it like third wheeling Jakob and Josh these days? Diamond Leagues. What's it like?
No,
Spill the tea.
no, yeah, it's kind of fun, honestly, because I feel like I don't really have to do anything. I'm kind of just always sort of hanging out in the background. But I think I've always loved being underestimated, and I underestimate myself a lot of the time. Um, so I feel like I'm kind of like, a little more of the underdog in the third wheel. That's what I've been calling it. But everyone loves a good underdog story. So um, no, it's been ideal. I think it's been taking off a lot of pressure from me also, which has been quite nice.
What's it like in the call rooms? Are people saying stuff or is it generally pretty quiet?
It's pretty quiet, especially when like they give you like the bibs in the call room. So it's like you gotta put on your bib and like tie your shoes and like just do all this other like last minute stuff. Like I'll talk with my teammates or something, but I don't think there's like a very. I think everyone's pretty like locked in, focused. So it's not really too much is happening in the call room.
Yard, wrapping up our conversation today, really appreciate your time. What would be the final takeaway message that you want to leave with our audience today? Can be anything, reiterating a point you made or something entirely new.
I think there are many ways to be successful, and I think that's really something I want. I think if I had to leave anything with this sport, it'd be nothing because I don't want to have a lasting impact on anything. But if I had to choose something, then it's like I feel like there are multiple different avenues to like have success and to win. And there isn't going to be one thing that you need to do or one thing like everyone has to do to even like be in the conversation. Um, you should just do what you want to do and what feels right for you. So that's what I've been doing, and I just kind of want to prove that's true in every race I go into. Just like I can be silly and fun, but still like determined to just like give it everything I have in every race and go for the win. But yeah, there are so many ways to win. So yeah,
I love it. Yard, appreciate the conversation. Keep crushing it. I'll be cheering you on. I would say in Paris, back home in the States, cheering you on the TV as you take on Paris. Really appreciate the conversation. Keep crushing it. And yeah, so excited to see all the things you'll accomplish, not just this year, but in the years to come. So both in the sport of running and as a dentist one day, potentially. So
yeah.
are you
No,
still
thank
interested
you.
in
I
being a
will.
dentist or is that just completely on the back burner?
It's very on the back burner. I don't need to do much until like when I actually plan on going into dental school again. Also, I specifically want to be an orthodontist because dentists are cool, but orthodontics is like really sick.
Next
Um,
level.
but yeah, that's like very, very back burner, like not even really thinking about it most of the time until probably like, I don't know, after the LA Olympics or something.
Very fair. Very fair. Well, yeah, I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
No, yeah, no problem.